heart, and welcome to this episode of the Drink Less, Live Better podcast. This is the podcast that helps you to see that drinking less doesn't need to be stressful, lonely, or boring. I'm your host, Sarah Williamson, and I decided to have a year alcohol-free as a little life experiment and haven't looked back. I'm here to support you with your alcohol-free or drink less adventures. Follow me on Instagram at Drink Less, Live Better. Find resources on my website, drinklesslivebetter.com. I hope you enjoyed this episode. Let's get straight to it. Continuing my mini-series of things you'll never hear me say, this is episode 11. What doesn't kill you makes you stronger. Well, that's a harmful myth. I want to challenge this piece of motivational folklore that has wormed its way into our collective consciousness. The phrase, "what doesn't kill you makes you stronger," is not just a platitude, it's a dangerous misconception that minimises human suffering and provides a dangerously reductive view of resilience and trauma. Let's be quite clear, trauma is not a universal strengthening agent. Human psychological and emotional experiences are complex. Many experiences that don't literally kill us can in fact profoundly damage us, leaving lasting scars that diminish rather than enhance our capacity to cope with future challenges. Consider for a moment the survivors of intense physical or psychological abuse. Does being beaten repeatedly make someone stronger? I suspect not. Does experiencing prolonged emotional manipulation suddenly transform a victim into an emotional superhero? No, of course it doesn't. These experiences often leave deep wounds that can take years, sometimes entire lifetimes, to heal, if healing even is possible. Psychological research consistently demonstrates that repeated exposure to trauma can lead to chronic stress, depression, anxiety, and post-traumatic stress disorder. These conditions don't make people stronger. They sometimes break people down, erode their sense of self, and create defense mechanisms that can prevent living a life and connecting with other people hard. The phrase also reveals a profoundly problematic cultural attitude towards suffering. It suggests that pain is somehow a valuable commodity, that we should welcome difficult experiences as opportunities for personal development. This perspective places an unreasonable burden on individuals experiencing hardship. It implies that if someone isn't emerging from their struggles as a more resilient version of themselves, they're somehow failing. And that is toxic. That is horrible. This saying dangerously romanticizes struggle. You hear somebody throw off the cuff, "what doesn't kill you makes you stronger," and they think it transforms suffering into a narrative of personal growth, effectively telling people that they should be grateful for their pain. It's morally questionable. Suffering is not a gift, and trauma is not a personal development workshop. Mental health professionals understand that resilience is not about enduring endless punishment, but about developing healthy coping mechanisms, seeking the right support, and understanding one's own emotional landscape. Strength comes from vulnerability, from acknowledging pain, from seeking help, and creating supportive environments that allow healing for yourself. The myth also completely ignores individual differences in human capacity. People have varying levels of resilience that might be shaped by genetics, early childhood experiences, social support, and personal temperament. What might be a manageable challenge for one person could be utterly devastating for another. Suggesting a universal "what doesn't kill you" approach is potentially dangerous. Consider medical trauma, for instance. Chronic illness, severe injuries, or prolonged medical treatments can fundamentally alter a person's life trajectory. These experiences don't necessarily make someone stronger. They might require adaptation and can lead to significant physical challenges. The phrase also perpetuates a narrative of emotional suppression. It suggests the appropriate response to pain is to simply endure, to grit one's teeth and power through, rather than acknowledge, feel, and process emotions. To offer a bit of balance, some individuals do emerge from challenges with increased self-understanding, empathy, and resilience. But this occurs through intentional processing, professional support, compassionate environments, and personal reflection, not through some magical, automatic process. What we need, perhaps, is a more nuanced understanding of human resilience. We should recognise that healing is not linear, that vulnerability is strength, that seeking help is a courageous act. Supporting one another through difficulties, creating compassionate systems of care, and validating individual experiences, these are true pathways forward. So, the next time someone tells you what doesn't kill you makes you stronger, I invite you to challenge them. Understand for yourself that your worth is not determined by your ability to endure senseless suffering. Your strength lies in your capacity for compassion, your willingness to be vulnerable, and your commitment to your own healing. You can also forward them this podcast episode and ask them to reconsider their words. Thank you for listening in today. Come back again next week. Check out the show notes for a link to a hidden podcast episode that will help you with your 5 p.m. cravings, and details about my one-to-one life coaching and sober coaching programs. And P.S. I believe in you.